Good afternoon, it's Kirsten here for a Thursday Spa Business Break, once again on Thursdays. So November is spa event season. Definitely October, November seems to be a really popular time for spas to run events. So I wanted to talk about that in one of my Facebook Lives because I know that a lot of you struggle with wanting to offer events, but not really knowing how to put them together. Never mind how to optimize them in order to be profitable and not just a total time suck for you. Because let's face it, putting together an event on top of your weekly duties and responsibilities, whether you're a solo or you have a team, adding the project of an event is a big project. So make no mistake, it's not something that you can kind of whip together and, I'd like to do an event and I want to do it, if today's the day that you decide, okay, in 3 weeks, I want to put together an event. You can put together an event in 3 weeks, but I'm going to tell you now, it's pretty tough. That's a really, really tough timeline to have a successful event. And when I'm talking about successful, I'm talking about having enough people show up and having people purchase either the service or the products, like whatever your offers are there. So yes, it's nice to have events, customer appreciation where we're just kind of getting together, but really we need to make our events purposeful for two reasons. Purposeful for the client so that you're adding value to them and not just asking them to show up to something off hours, but something that they really would be excited about, they feel like is valuable for them and relevant for them. And the other piece is that you want to run an event that actually earns you some money. All right, so we're going to talk about how to create a profitable system, and I'm going to give you 5 steps here on each of these points, 9 steps, and each of these points, really I'm just touching on the surface of them, but at least it will give you an idea of what you should be looking for when you create your own spa system or spa event system. Now, I want you to look at your spa events as a system, because a system is really just a series of actions that happen consistently in the same order, in the same process, and gives you a repeatable result. So we don't want to do our events like by the seat of our pants. It's kind of like doing marketing on the fly, right? The marketing just doesn't really land as well if it's done on the fly, as opposed to if you have a marketing system. And events are part of your marketing system. So I want you to look at it as a system. And so these 9 points I'm going to give you, take a piece of paper and a pen so that you can start mapping out your own system. All right, so the first part of the system we want to talk about is time. Making sure that you are giving yourself enough time to actually plan and execute a great event. So you really need to be starting your planning process 8 weeks out minimum, all right? So that might shock you as far as, holy cow, 8 weeks out, but yes, and I'm talking, you need that 8 weeks because at 8 weeks, you're starting the brainstorming, the big picture stuff. And if you're also in the treatment room, even if you're not in the treatment room, you've got a lot of other admin stuff to do. It's your event is not going to be your only project. So you have to keep in mind, you've got to be really great with your time management when you're adding on an event. So 8 weeks out is minimum that I recommend that you start planning an event. You want to send out your save the date emails 3 weeks out. And that's when your email sequences start. So you want to have a series of emails planned out. What days are they going to go out? How many times a week? And I know this might kind of freak you out. You're like, what? Multiple emails a week? But when you're planning events and promoting events, you have to do multiple emails. Now you're not going to be sending out the same email multiple times. You're going to drip out different topics, but that are relevant for the event to get the interest and the buzz going. And you're definitely going to need to ramp up your email sequences on that last week, because typically when you launch the event, you get people saying yes at the beginning. It kind of starts going a little bit, quieter in the middle. And then that last week it's really common to get most of your attendees coming in, purchasing tickets at that last week, especially the last couple of days before, surprisingly, okay? So you don't want to cut yourself off at the knees with time if you're not going to have enough time to send out those emails to make sure that you have enough people that have seen it that they want to show up. Okay, next heading for your event system is the event goal. What is the event goal? It's not good enough just to have, I want to have a customer appreciation event. You need to be more specific than that, because you're going to build the event around the goal. So is the goal launching a new service or a product? If you want to have a customer appreciation event, that's totally fine. So the goal is client appreciation, so that everything that's happening in the event has to do with appreciating the client. Okay, I got lots of notes here. But the key piece here is having a goal helps you to stay clear about all the details of your event. If you start going off on different tangents, your clients at the event will start kind of being a little bit confused. And when you get confused clients, they don't make the kind of the decisions that you want them to be making, because they're a little bit distracted with different stuff going on. All right, the next heading here is your event itinerary. You need to map out what's going to be happening at that event and what time those things going to be happening. Will you have demos of a new service? Will you have a product bar where clients can play? Will there be a short lecture by maybe what's one of your team members, or maybe you're bringing a special guest in, a subject matter expert? Will you be offering mini treatments? Will you have door prizes? Will there be swag bags? You want to map out what will be happening in this time frame, because you need to be, once you've mapped it out, now you know what kind of resources that you need. All right, next heading is the event space. This is one of those resources. Now, if you have a really small space, you're going to be limited about what you can do for your itinerary. So if you are a solo and you just have one little room, you're going to have to probably, maybe you might want to rent a space. Like maybe you're renting a cute little a VRBO to have that kind of a bigger space in there, to have multiple rooms. Maybe you are renting out a local space where you can, like a co-working space where maybe they have like a room that you could actually have a lecture in. So if you have a spa that's, you've maybe got 3 or 4 treatment rooms, but you don't really have a lot of extra space, you've got reception, you may have to organize your event itinerary in waves. Maybe you have a 5 o'clock start and a 7 o'clock start. Maybe you have different days. I know a client that's done this as well, where she was launching her hydrofacial, and she actually only booked little mini treatments, and there was only a small amount of treatments available, of course, and people pre-booked them. They paid for them. And then she upsold them at the end of their little mini treatment. But because she was a solo and really limited on space, there was very specific times people had to book in. Okay. Okay, next heading, event cost. I would not recommend, and you may have already experienced this, I would not recommend having a free event. The thing is, when people pay, they pay attention. So even having a small fee to be a part of the event really helps for people just to have a little bit of skin in the game. Now, it's really common as well for spa events to be able to offer that price, whether it's $20 or $30, that price can be put towards product or service purchase at the event. So it's really just helping to get people committed to coming. All right, now next heading is event offers. This is a really key piece here. Now, when clients and consumers are going to events, they're really expecting to have some great deals. And in all honesty, my thought process here is that, and so they should. They're coming out in the evening usually, and they're listening to what you have to say and listening to your offers. And so you want to be able to reward those people with some really great deals. And essentially, you're just lowering the barrier for them to say yes to those products and services. And here's the key. I know there's some, a lot of you that are like, I don't like discounting. I don't discount. But if you need more people to cross your lease line, if you need more people in your treatment room, if you need more people purchasing products, you just need more people experiencing you or your team. And so having those really great deals to experience it for the first time, whether it's a new service or the product, it's just one of those easier ways to get them to say yes. And then hopefully you have the relationship and you have built the trust and built the relationship that of course they're going to still keep having those kinds of treatments, purchasing those products. And so it ends up just becoming really part of your marketing budget by giving those kinds of discounts. You can also, rather than giving like a discount to things, perhaps it's I know that, I think it was Megan Tenbergen, you were mentioning in one of the Facebook groups, it might have even been Spa Business Mastery, that you offer a buy one or buy some and get more. So it's like when you buy 2 products, you get a discount. When you buy 3 products, you get more of a discount. When you buy 4 products, you get a little bit more of a discount. You can also do value adds. So perhaps if they purchase a series, they're getting some sort of product as a value add, like a full-size product. But you really want to make your offers juicy, because the reality is with these kinds of events, and if you've created that buzz, people are excited to buy and they want to buy, and it's a one-night only offer. So it's not like this is going to go on and on and on. It's really just to create buzz to get people to want to book those things. All right, so it's really, and you also want to make sure that you are advertising beforehand that there's going to be really great deals at the event. You don't want to keep that a secret. Otherwise, people just kind of assume that, oh, it's just a lecture, oh, whatever. But when you dangle the little carrot there about there's going to be some really great one night only deals, makes it a little bit juicier. All right, next heading is your event staff. Now, even if you're a solo, you will need some help. One of my SD besties, Shannon Hall from NM Kara Spa here in Sydney, BC, she is a solo and she's done events before, multiple events, usually in November. I would often help her with cashing people out. So I would cash people out for retail sales. So she often had like a product bar going on. Then she had one of her vendors, the rep came and she was doing skin analysis and product recommendations. And Shannon was buzzing around because she needs to be, she's the star of the show. It's her clientele. And so if it was her responsible for cashing everybody out, it would take away from the guest experience of the event. So I offered to help her cash her clients out. Now, I've done this for myself with solo events. When I first got started, I begged my mother to come to my event. I remember this really well. I was one of the first people in Canada to offer La Stone therapy, which was the original hot stone massage many, many years ago. It was probably about 20 years ago. And at the time I was working in a hair salon, and the hair salon owner allowed me to off hours, so the hair people weren't there, as I moved all the hair chairs out, moved my massage table into the middle. And so people were they sat in the hair chairs. I had the massage table kind of set up, and I had a friend of mine be the demo body. She was totally fine being the, half naked there. And I did have one staff member, and while my staff member was going through the movements, I was talking about what was happening, why we do this, the features, the benefits, and I had a gift certificate sale for it. But the key piece here was I needed my mom to be able to cash people out, because if I had to do it, it would totally take away from the experience. The end result was I sold a lot of gift certificates, so it was really great, super fun event, and I just really appreciated that help. It helped the flow. So even if you don't have somebody that's in the spa industry, maybe you just have some friends that can help you out with the flow of people, but you're most likely going to need help if you're solo. If you have a team, you definitely want to map out who is going to be doing what and when. And like who's going to be on the retail area talking about retail, who's going to be doing the demo, who's going to be writing skincare prescriptions. And most importantly, again, this is this piece at reception. You're most likely going to need at least 2 people on reception, cashing people out, selling gift certificates, booking appointments. It's a high traffic area, and you're going to need lots of support in there. So there's nothing worse than the main event is going really well, and then you've got a backlog at the front desk for people to cash out, where they just want to give you their money and go home. So make it really easy for them. Make sure that you're staffed up. And you want to make sure that you have a staff meeting prior to, or even multiple staff meetings, but definitely the week before or a few days before, have a team meeting to make sure everybody knows what their role is so that the event goes much, much smoother. All right, next heading, event vendors. Your vendors can be super helpful with events. Now, they've got skin in the game too. When you're selling more retail, they're getting, however it works on their end, they're most likely getting a commission on that. So it's really in their best interest to help you. And most of them are really helpful when it comes to events. So make sure when you're at that 8-week before the event, you contact your vendor, ask for, maybe it's just a phone meeting, share with her your idea, him or her, your idea about your event, and ask if they have any ideas that they'd like to contribute. You also want to ask if there is anything they can contribute, whether it's the rep's time. So like in my friend Shannon's instance, the Dermalogica rep came out and did the skin analysis or the face mapping for people. I've had many events with my different spas, and it was great because absolutely the rep, my GM Colan rep came out. She was there for the event. I mean, she was just so excited. Clients could feel it, and our retail sales went through the roof. It was fantastic. The other thing you want to ask them is about what they can contribute for product. They usually have some sort of budget for that, whether it's stuff like smaller trial size for swag bags, or whether it's like a big package that you could do for a big door prize. Whatever it is, ask your vendors how they can support you that way. Okay, next heading has to do with the event marketing plan. So this is that key piece that ties into timing, to make sure you have enough time to execute your marketing so that it's not kind of all last minute and then you're wondering why there's not a lot of people showing up. It's really common to, like I said before, to sell a chunk of tickets when you first launch it's your ticket sales, to dribble in a little bit in the middle and then another big chunk come towards the end. So that's totally normal. Don't worry about it. But you definitely want to map out your email sequences kind of at that 7 and 8 week. You want to save the date email 3 weeks out. You want to have the week after, you want to have a couple of emails in there. Maybe one is just a short little tidbit about as far as what they can expect at the event, as far as if there's demos or product bars or mini treatments, that kind of thing. So it doesn't have to be a long email, and you don't have to give away everything that's happening, but just maybe one little tidbit with a link to your how to purchase tickets, whether that's Eventbrite or whether that's from PayPal or from your website or coming in and buying a ticket. And then, so save the date, the next week, 2 emails, the next week, 2 emails, and then that last week you want to have at least 3 emails. So one at the beginning of the week and then a few at the end just before. So you'll have one, if you're having your event on Saturday during the day, in the afternoon, then you're going to want to send out a Thursday, it's in 2 days, a Friday, it's tomorrow, and a Saturday email, it's today, it's not too late, okay? Now, one of the things I noticed that spa owners kind of forget when they're launching an event and maybe sales are a little bit slow as far as ticket sales, you guys forget to actually call people and personally invite them. So, that's just one of those high touch ways to do that. Or maybe you send out your save the date. Maybe it's actual invitation that you mail out, like something that looks like an invitation, not a bill. Okay. But having that personal outreach absolutely helps to get a few more ticket sales going. The last piece I wanted to add here as far as your marketing plan well, not almost second to last, I'll bump it up a little bit. The next piece of it is, of course, your social media marketing. So, make sure you've got a few of your event posts peppered in with your regular content. Create a Facebook page, a Facebook event page. And then the other piece is I recommend doing Facebook Lives. Now, I know you guys hate it when we recommend this. You're like, I hate being in front of the camera. But the truth of the matter is, if you need organic reach, if you can't afford paid ads, you're going to have to use the social media tools that Facebook and Instagram want you to use, because when you use them, you show up in more people's feeds. So you got to play the game here when it comes to organic marketing. If you're like, I just don't like doing Facebook Lives, then you just have to understand that your regular posting is going to be limited as far as visibility. Okay, finally, with marketing, if you can afford to do Facebook ads, I would highly recommend it. Whether this is, not doing a boost post, but going into the ads manager and doing a boost post is a little bit better. But there is lots of strategy around there as far as Facebook ads and events, and how to use that tool. So if you've got a budget for ad spend, then absolutely use Facebook ads for that and drive traffic to your Facebook event page. So I kind of talked fast about your event. So this is really all of those points that I was talking about. So we've got, we've got the event, we've got time, the event goal, we have the vendors, your marketing plan, your itinerary, your event space, your cost, your offers, staff. These are all part of your event system. You know I love systems. The reason why I love systems is because I hate repeating things and doing things on the fly, because they never, repeating things that don't work or doing things on the fly. It makes me feel crazy. I know it makes you feel crazy. We don't have enough time to, make mistakes, really. We're going to make mistakes, but if we can do this easier, if we can create a system for our events that as we do each event, we make a note, we go in and, make notes about what worked, what didn't work. What do I want to tweak for next time? What do I want to get rid of? What can we do to optimize the next event? Now, when we create a system, rarely is the very first system perfect. That's the whole point, is that we work in the system, test it out, and change and tweak things as we go along. So if this is going to be the first year that you do an event, there's probably going to be mistakes. You're probably going to get to the end of it and go, I shouldn't have done that, or I could have done that better. That's totally okay. That's part of this learning process. But make sure you are learning from the process and making those changes. Now, I like to use a project management software called Asana. It's asana.com. There's a free version, and literally it's just like a online cloud version. It's really great too if you have a team you need to work with, collaborate on due dates and responsibilities. But something like Asana, you can map out your event system, and then when you have another event to do, you've got it there, and you can start tweaking as you go along. So, I talk a lot about systems all the time, if you haven't noticed, but it's because it makes your life easier. It makes your life easier as a leader. It makes your life easier as a service provider. When we don't have to constantly do things on the fly and wonder why we're getting inconsistent results. I want you to be able to learn from your mistakes, learn from the wins, and keep tweaking and keep adjusting and optimizing so that you will hit a type of event that really works well for your spa. All right, that's it for me. Spa events. November's the season. Who is booking an event for their facility that's low network connection, or who has already had an event? I would love to hear some feedback. If you want to share anything, like what were your wins for your events? What were your what didn't work, so that other people don't repeat those kinds of things. What do you want to try in next time? I mean, there's all sorts of things that we can support each other on the topic of events, even just brainstorming and sharing how yours have gone. Okay, that's it for today for Thursday Spa Business Break. I will be back next week. In a couple days on Saturday, I'm leaving for Miami for the Congress, the Miami Congress 19. And I will be on the main stage on Monday at 10:40. And I'll be talking about the 5 keys to your beauty business for unlocking your beauty business. And then on both days, I have 3 afternoon classes. One is about improving your recruiting and hiring success. I have another talk on how to have difficult conversations at the spa. And oh gosh, what's the third one? I'm blanking on it. I can't remember. Anyways, I'll be there. If you guys are going to be there in Miami, I would love to connect with you. And a lot of times on social, I recognize the name, but I don't recognize the face to your Facebook picture. So I would love it if you came up to me and said, hi, you know, I follow you, I'm in your group. I just want to get to know more people. So, and I'm also looking if you would like to share a meal on Saturday night or Sunday night. I'm sure I'll find somebody there. I did last time when we were at Long Beach. It was super fun. So yeah, I'll see you at Miami if you're going to be there. Pop a hello in the comments below if I will see you there. All right, take care. We'll see you next week. Bye.